Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Saturday Morning Coffee with Back to Basics Dog Training. And as always, those of you watching, thank you for joining me this Saturday and every Saturday morning. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Leon. I'm the trainer here over at Back to Basics Dog Training. And each and every Saturday morning, I bring you this live free dog training Q&A session. We're in the process of redoing it a little bit, which we're really excited about. I'm really excited about. And today we're going to have a special guest, which I'll introduce in a little bit. So remember, if you guys are watching now, later on the replay, please shoot a comment. Let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know you're here and just give me a shout out. Say hi. Um, but before we get to our special guest this week, I want to just talk about 4th of July is here. Hello, Patrice. How are you? I want to talk about 4th of July. 4th of July is here. It's upon us, guys. It's this weekend. Fireworks are starting. We know it. Uh, a lot of dogs have phobias and fears about the fireworks sounds. So I just want you guys to take some extra precaution this weekend, probably for the whole month of July, because these people don't understand July 4th is only one day. We're never going to stop the fireworks. So, all those posts on Facebook, it's not going to work. So let's prepare ourselves to help our dogs succeed. One thing, please make sure all your windows are shut all the way. Dogs can punch through a screen very easily. And if they get really, really scared, they're going to go into their flight mechanism. They can bust through the screen. They're gone. So please make sure all your windows are shut. Also to help deaden the sounds. Screen doors. If you have a sliding patio door, make sure it's shut. Don't leave the screen door open. Just use the extra precaution. If you have a fenced-in yard, please, please, please reinforce your gates. Make sure they're safe. Make sure, even if you have to put a bolt on them. Uh, I am doing well. And I'm going to say your name wrong, Lawanga. I hope I said it right. Um, So please, please make sure if you have a way to bolt the gate latch shut, bolt it shut for this weekend, this month, whatever you have to do just to make it safe for your dogs. Check, make sure your fences aren't loose. Check all these things. I actually saw a great post on Facebook where, God forbid, your dog does get loose. Take some painter's tape, put it around the dog's collar, put your phone number and your name on there. They may lose that tag. It gets snagged on something that has your information. Um, if you take the tape and you put it on there, write your phone number, write your name down. So a way, if somebody does get your dog, God forbid it gets out, they have a way of contacting you. And make sure you keep that phone, whatever number you use, be it your cell phone or your home phone, have it available, at all times. God forbid something happens. Um, we want to help these dogs. Play music in the house. Do things to help your dogs, guys. Um, as much as I'm going to tell you this, I know most people aren't going to do it. Don't coddle them when they're afraid. Let them deal with it. Stay with them. Make sure they're safe. If you're, I did this a couple of years ago with a dog I was working with that was very reactive to fireworks and thunder. I had plans to go out for 4th of July, and then when I realized this dog that had this phobia about the fireworks, and the dog was a crate dog that would be in a crate when we weren't home, I changed my plans, guys. I stayed home. I don't like the idea. If you have a dog that needs to be in a crate, please, please change your plans. Don't go out on 4th of July. Don't keep the dog in a crate. They will hurt themselves trying to get into that flight mechanism. Stay with your dog. Keep them on a leash if you want to keep them safe, but don't keep them when you're not there in a crate, because if they get scared, they're going to try to bust out of the crate and they will get hurt. And that's the last thing any of us want. So I hope this information is helpful, guys. It's a real, it's a hard time for some dogs. It's a harder time for some humans. Um, just take the precautions. Remember, windows shut, deadbolt your gates. Uh, um, I wish there was a way I could get you food, pal. Um, you know, if you happen to be out and about and you find a dog that's running around, check the tag. Don't bring it to our shelters. Our shelters are full right now, guys. There's no room for them. So if you can do whatever you can, if you find a dog to help them reunite with their owners, do it. Um, it's real, real important. Our shelters are overwhelmed right now across the country, from what I'm reading. Um, Most of them are near or at capacity. So if we bring a dog to a shelter, they may not have room for them, and we don't want the end result of what may happen at um, some of these shelters. So again, take the extra precaution. Close your windows. Make sure your doors are shut. Everything is secure inside the home. Double check, deadbolt. Do what you need to do to your gates. Check your fence line. Make sure there are no weak points where if they bash into your fence, they can get out. Uh, just take the extra precaution. And with that being said, we're going to start to do our introduction of our special guest this week. And like I told you guys, I'm changing up this format. I'm going to be offering free. The saddest thing is even rescues are charging upwards of $800. That's a disgrace. I don't get into that. I don't know. I know working with some rescue groups. Good morning, Donna. Um, a lot of these rescue groups are not for profit, and a lot of the money to take care of the dogs properly once they get them, the vetting bills, the feeding, medication, all that, it's an expense to them. I know a couple of rescue groups that they've taken, the people that run the rescue group are taking money out of their own pocket to help these dogs, which is a great thing. And that adoption fee is a necessary thing to help them recoup so they can help the next dog. These guys, the ones that I deal with, and I know there's other ones out there that aren't as scrupulous. I think that's the right word. Um, the ones I deal with do it for the love of the animal. They're not making money on it. They're not living, in a mansion on the beach with 27 cars in the garage. These guys are working day by day. Uh, it is the older dogs and mixed breed dogs. Uh, the reason it's more expensive is a lot of these dogs, you got to remember, and I'm not defending anybody, and I'm not trying to become confrontational. A lot of these older, especially the older dogs, have never really been vetted or groomed or whatever. I mean, again, I've worked with rescue groups that do take in a lot of older dogs, and just to do a dental work on a dog because they have their teeth are rotted because people never took care of their dogs, that's an upward of a couple $1,000s. It's hard. The older dogs, it's harder. It's actually a bigger expense for the rescue groups. And again, I'm not trying to justify anything. I'm just trying to, be as transparent as I can because they do have the expense. And any reputable rescue group is going to take the time and take the dog to the vet and do, and a vet check usually for some of these dogs is upward of $1,000 just for the initial check. Um, um, it's something, it's a necessary evil, and with the cost of things nowadays it's even worse. So but we'll get off of that. Again, I would be happy to have that help people understand more about how the rescues work, one-on-one. Anybody wants to reach out to me. um, yeah, again, I'm not going to get into the difference between breeding and rescuing. Me, it's always rescue, 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 guys. There's enough dogs out there. We need to help them spay and neuter so we don't have so many dogs running around. Uh, but I do want to get into this week's thing and talk about what Back to Basics is doing to help you guys succeed once we get these dogs into our homes, be it through your fostering or you adopted the dogs or purchased the dogs. So the goal of Back to Basics is, as I always say every week, is to help one dog or one family at a time. And this is the beginning steps of this journey that we're going to all take together. And I'm excited to offer it. This week I have a special guest. We all know her. Anybody who's been following me for a while, it's Michelle with Athena. Um, she got a new puppy and they seem to be doing really, really well. But there's some concerns and questions that Michelle and Rob have. So I'm going to play a little bit of a video here, and I hope this works, guys. Um, I just got to bounce around, so bear with me while I look stupid here, but that's how I do things. So hear them playing. You can see them playing. And if anybody's watching, please let me know if you're seeing it. I know it's got that stupid watermark thing on there. But you can see these two dogs are playing. They have them on leash, which is really good because it's easier to control, and this is just more play. Um, And just so you guys know, while I'm interviewing Michelle and Rob, training them, I will be um, muting the comments. You can still type your comments, but I'm not going to look at them because I want to focus my attention as if I was in your home, one on one with you, giving you my undivided attention. So I'm going to give Michelle and Rob my undivided attention. I will look at the comments afterwards and I will get to them all as usual. So there's the introduction, and without further ado, I am going to bring Michelle on. And give me 1 second so I can remember how to do this. And there she is. Welcome, Michelle.
Hi, Leon. Welcome.
Welcome.
Welcome to my living room.
Thank you. Rob, somewhere there, maybe being camera
Yes.
operator. Rob, thank you for joining. Michelle, thank you for joining us. And more so, thank you, Athena and Bergen, for joining us. So, again, this is your 15 minutes with me. Michelle, hit me with your questions or
Well,
question of
I
the
sent
day.
you. Well, I mean, I haven't had a puppy since I'm a kid, so this is really new to me. And Rob has more dog experience. He has more experience having more than one dog at a time, so he's used to the rough housing, and I'm not. So I'm always trying to move in, break them up. You can't really grab them by the leash to try to drag them apart. Doesn't really work because they get more excited. I don't know. Then my inclination is to move right in with my hands, so I'm going to get bit by mistake. So and we're doing a lot of it with treats, but we don't want to be so treat dependent. Like the minute we open up a bag of really high value treats, like frankfurters and chicken, they both stop. Usually, unless it's really escalated. But I need to recognize when does it get too rough, when to break it up, and how to break it up.
Right. Okay, so great questions. And I love the fact that right now, I know Bergen is about 6, 7 months old.
Six months
Yeah.
plus,
So
yeah,
still in the puppy stage. Treats are going to be important for the continual training, but we don't want to use the treats. We all kind of agree on that because I don't go out of my house with treats. And just to give a little background, I did have the privilege of working with Athena. And the moment I walked into the yard, the first thing she did is stick her nose into my pocket looking for treats. So we know that that can be a bad dependency. You don't want the treats to have more value than you. And right now, you told me earlier that you wrinkle the bag. They stop usually unless they're escalated.
right,
So as far as the play we saw in the video, to me, it was just normal kids playing. Kids, dogs, puppies play rough. I've said this on my lives before, and I've probably said it to you, but I personally don't. Once I have a pack of dogs, I don't let them play in the house. They become destructive. All of a sudden, all your little knickknacks that you really like that you had all these years are going to get broken because they play rough. None of the play I saw in the videos showed me there was an aggression, any type of aggression, first of all. And the second thing, towards the end, it got too rough and it looked like Athena was saying, hey, this is a little bit enough. And then I kind of heard Rob in the background, stop it. I don't know if
right.
there was treats involved. Again, it doesn't matter because the
Hmm.
important thing is it stopped. So, how to stop when you want to? Use that 0 to 10 scale and start slow. They're at 1, they're playing. So, if they're playing, they'll say they're at a 3. If it gets up to what you consider a 4, play stops.
Right.
And when does the training stop? When their mind is back to 1. A lot of times when people have packs of dogs and they're playing, they stop the play, but the mind is still playing. If you don't stop the mind, you didn't stop the play. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if I when I had my pack of dogs and I would let them play, and like I said, it was usually in the yard, and I supervised them.
Hmm.
If I thought it was getting a little too much, I step in, intervene. I would stop the play, and then when they were all in that zero calm, I call it, but it's like level 1 because zero is being asleep. Then that was over, and I could walk away, and I didn't worry about them going right back at it because I'm sure you probably stopped some of the playing, and okay, good, and then they go right back to it. So if
Right.
they're going right back to it tells you where their mind is. Their mind is not is still in play mode. You stop the physical, you didn't stop the mental, and that's the important part. But you want to stop it earlier in the process in the beginning because if you wait till it gets here, it's too hard. That's what you said. You even said there are times they're playing and you can't even get the treat. They don't care about the treat because now
Right.
they're past that point. I don't care if
Right.
you gave them a raw steak; they're not going to care. Keeping the leash on them gives you the access not to drag them away because dragging them away is like trying to separate two people from fighting. They try to go back at it. The
Yeah.
top of the leash is going to do it, and the top of the leash has to be at a higher level of intensity than their play. And then the follow through is crucial. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And that's the biggest disconnect I have with most people. They don't is that follow through. If you don't follow through to get to the state of mind you want,
Hmm.
you're frustrating yourself. You're getting aggravated because I just stopped them and these damn idiots. Then it's frustrating. One thing is never put your hands in front of dogs' mouths, people. I always tell people I probably broke up over 500 dog fights in my life. Never got bit. And I'm proud of that fact. Why? Because I'm not going to put my hands near their mouths. I've got scratched, but never bit. You can grab them by the scruff because if you have them by the scruff, it's hard for them to turn on you. But if you're going to physically control your dog, you can't do it with anger, frustration. Because if you grab
Right.
that leash and you're pissed off, we're all adults here, I think, and you pop that leash with that anger, you're not stopping it. It's that no nonsense. Remember how my generation, our generation grew up. No meant no. Why? Because my parents said so.
Right.
And that's the key. When you have a pack of dogs. You have more than one. You have a pack now. You don't want Athena taking the pack leader role. She could take the alpha dog role, but not the pack leader. The pack leader is the ultimate.
Right.
When I've had packs, I've always had an alpha dog, but my word was final. Maddie, my old girl, would set the rules. All the other dogs would follow. But if they weren't listening, then I took over.
Right. Like Rob, when Rob comes in and says, ladies, they just stop. Like he'll say something, his voice is deeper, maybe he's bigger, and they listen a little bit
His
more. And then
energy
like,
is
once we
better.
get them to, like, I'll do like a clap, something. I'll try to do a noise to startle them, or even shake like kibble in a container. We do a shake the kibble, and they'll stop. Maybe because it's food, maybe because it's noise, and then get them to lay down and stay down for a minute, both next to each other, laying down until they, de-escalate a little bit. Try to
Right.
get them so they
But
don't
it's
go right back to the fighting.
right. But it's not de-escalate a little bit. It's got to be de-escalate all the way. Because
Okay.
if they and the reason, like, if you clap your hands or shake the kibble or the can of coins that used to be an old method of you hear
Hmm.
about, it's when dogs are in that state of mind. As much as you women don't think us men can multitask, dogs can't. So when they're in that play state of mind, that's all they care about. So if by making a noise, the pop of the leash, you're unlocking that brain for that second for you to be relevant. Hey, cut this out. It has nothing to do with the fact that Rob's a man, deeper voice, bigger, stronger, taller, whatever. It's his energy of that no nonsense. Hey, ladies, enough.
Right.
He's you, Michelle. I've known you long enough so I can be honest with you. You overthink it.
Yeah.
You overthink it. So you're instead of just hey, enough, and meaning it. If Rob was stepping out of line, you'd be, hey, dude, enough. You got to
Right.
take that same mental approach to them, but the energy is going to change it. Why does Rob get results? Because his energy is better. He's dealt with multiple dogs in his life, so he kind of
Hmm.
understands. And Rob, don't get your head swollen here, but follow his lead. It's real because he's doing something right. And I
Right.
and again, I know Rob, and there are points when it gets this high, it's hard for all of us. Don't let it get this high. I use Zoe as the example, guys. I play rough with Zoe, rougher than I would say anybody should ever play with their dog. And now that she's getting older, I don't do it as much. But there are points where we played so rough, like my arm was bleeding. But I can go like this, and she's right back down to level one. How did I do it? The same way I'm telling you. I went from she was at a level we were playing. She was at a three. I let her get to four. I brought her back down to one. We did that till she mastered it. Then I let her get up to level five. I did that a bunch of times. Six. Don't ever try to let them go above five. By the way, people, that's insane. I'm nuts. The
Right.
time she made my arm bleeding, she was at about an eight, and I should have put it all over the video. Kids, don't try this at home because it was painful. Um, but it was a work in process. It's that journey I talk about every week. Zoe's not. I tell people this all the time. People in my complex, people that we talk to on here. Zoe's not a miracle dog. She wasn't. It was work, and it's still work every single day for me. To me, it's fun work. That was Bergen.
Yeah. You could
Um,
tell.
um, so again, you have Michelle. I wouldn't if I were you. I wouldn't let her get as high as Rob necessarily, and
Mhm.
Rob can support you because right now they have a kind of a different respect level for Rob. He can support you, not take over because men have a tendency. I got this. Hey, shut up. Um, he can support you as a team. So you don't let they go from 2 to 3. You stop it at 3. He may be able to let them get up to 4 right now, but you have to stop it early and you have to stay consistent with it because if you give them the inch, they take the mile. And
Right.
just you know what you're doing is going to work. Stop overthinking it and just you make your correction. You have the leash on, bam. No, but you have to do fair is fair to both, and then bring them all the way back down, and then plays over. It's over for that time period. Now, if you choose to let them play again later on, that's your decision. You can do that. Again, personally, I recommend no play in a house. You have a fenced in yard, let them play in the yard.
Mhm.
You know, again, keep in mind in the yard there's more space. You may have to chase a little bit more, and chasing becomes a game. But again, if you master all the excitement inside, it makes it easier outside. So, does all that crap make sense?
Yeah, it does. No, it's definitely what you said about you give them an inch, and because Bergen we don't let on the furniture. You know, Athena can because when I first got her, a couple of
Mhm.
years ago, I didn't know that. I just let her have the run of the house, and I did
Right.
everything wrong. So I said, this one I'm going to try to start doing everything right and catch her before she gets large and unmanageable. And then one another, like you always say, you can't control a dog by force. A large dog, you have to get them to listen to you. So Bergen keeps trying to go up on the sofa, and we keep jerking her down again, and just to be consistent
Right.
because like I said,
And
now
it,
she's a cute little puppy, but she's not always going to be a cute little
right.
puppy.
And remember, with the couch, it's not off. It's no, because you want the no to be relevant or whatever discipline sound. So don't
Right.
be going. She's on the couch. Off. It's no. You're not allowed here. No is final. And again, that could change later on when she earns her prop thing. But my question to you is: have you started mastering the walk with Bergen?
Yeah, yeah, we actually have been. We're actually doing both of them. Trying to do them both separately. Bergen in the front, Athena in the front, a little bit less because she's a little unmanageable with the reactivity. Doing her more in the yard, but
Okay.
they've both been walked like a couple of times a day, at least, especially Bergen. Bergen's gotten better very quickly, and she's
Okay.
not as interested in the treats, but she's still responding, and we'll do it before her breakfast, making sure she's hungry and with higher value treats. I think you could do it with her kibble. With her, I feed her meal in the
Right.
walk, and she could do it with that. But we are doing them both. We really haven't taken them out walking together because they're not really good at it yet. But that's the plan, in the future, I hope.
Right. And my goal would be have that's why I said to you when you first started talking about getting Bergen, master the walk with Bergen. Get
Mhm.
her to be bulletproofed almost, and then use her as the example for Athena because
Right.
they learn from each other. And that's why when I bring Zoe, and I know Donna or Rich are watching, I brought Zoe because Stark was reactive. And with
Mhm.
Zoe, because Zoe stays calm no matter what, it actually helped Stark learn from not from me, not from my dog. So using Bergen, even though Bergen's the youngin, will help
Right.
Athena.
Well,
I really
well,
want to see you guys get out there walking them and show me places in the parks and stuff.
right. Well, so far, Bergen hasn't fed into Athena's reactivity with the dog next door. Athena will
Right.
will bark with the fence. The dog is out, and Bergen hasn't responded to that, which is a good thing.
Right.
Bergen
So what you
hasn't
can do,
fed into it yet. So we're hoping it doesn't happen. We're trying to, back Athena away from the fence, give her high value treats around the corner from where that position in front of the fence is, and see how she does. But
well,
Bergen hasn't jumped in with that yet. And that's something that maybe, I don't know if maybe Athena could learn from Bergen's calmness. Bergen's
right.
calm. I don't know.
Reverse what you're doing. Instead of giving Athena high value treats for misbehaving, give the high value treats to Bergen for acting right and let Athena see that. Because don't forget, that's one of my problems with some of the other trainers out there is they use so many treats for unwanted behaviors. The redirection theory. I'm going to redirect you from the fence by giving you something of really good value.
Right.
Well, hell, I'll just bark at the fence because I get a hot dog. They're smart people. They're smart. So
Mm.
that's what I'm saying. Maybe reverse that way of doing it. Bergen is staying good. Praise, praise, praise. Let Athena hear. Oh wait, why is she getting it and I'm not? Oh, that. Try it. It can't hurt. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah, see the little live training here. I don't know if you could see them.
I see Rob's knees.
Point
Yeah,
down.
it's good. Yeah, there we go. Look at that.
Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I've been told we're doing very well considering she's only been here a month, and Athena's pretty accepting of her because some people
Yeah.
say they keep them separated in their house in separate different areas of the house, and we've managed to keep, have them together after the initial meeting in another
Right.
location. They've been doing pretty well, but it was a real crapshoot whether this would work.
You know what? I think I had more confidence in it that it would work than you did. And again, you can
Right.
project what you don't want.
Hmm.
Um, but you know, from everything you've sent me, there I am on here. Everything I've
Yeah.
seen, you're doing a phenomenal job, and you got to build on it. And just that's why, guys, I say it's a journey. Journeys are fun because that end
Right.
result. I always use the light at the end of the tunnel. Some people see a train. I see a beach with a pina colada in my damn hand. That's the journey you want. So we're going to wrap up the session. I'm going to keep you on. I'm going to blank you out because I see some chats
Okay.
have come in. And if it's okay with you, if somebody has a question directed to you, can I bring you back on camera?
Sure. I'll
Okay.
I'll be here. Okay.
All right. So let's go. Thank you for doing this for me. I appreciate it. And I'll be back with you in a minute. All right, guys. Thank you. I hope you all found value in that. Let's see. We got a lot of comments while I was out here. Let's take a look. Hey guys, let me know in the comments if this was valuable to you. Donna says we're going to put some of these comments up here, so hopefully Michelle can see them. Great interview. Love the topic. I know myself the dogs play sometimes, and for some reason it cuts it off. I don't know why it does that. Makes her a little bit nervous. Good morning. This is from Melanie. Need help with a husky that's jealous of baby. He lunged a few times. We will get to that also. I would. We also have a problem with the shelter. Can't really talk. Hello, Bonnie. Hello, Kim. Um, all right. So we do have a question from a customer, Michelle. It's not really related to this. So this is a really good question, guys. Thank you, Melanie. I hope I said the name right, Melanie. Good morning. Need help with a husky that's jealous of the baby. He lunged a few times, has lunged a few times. Guys, that is totally unacceptable to me in my world. But that is, again, due to lack of conditioning, one for a baby. I have a whole routine. Um, I have a whole routine that I tell expecting parents to do. Um, which is one before, and I know it's a little late now, but we'll get to your question. Before a baby is born, start playing sounds of a baby crying, screaming, doing all that stuff. Um, so they get used to that sound of a baby crying, a baby screaming, whatever represents calm. I tell people to get lifelike dolls, walk around holding them, snuggling them, and create a boundary around the doll, for lack of better terms. So the dog understands, oh, when mommy or daddy have something in their arms, that means I have to give you a 3 foot space or whatever you chooses you need. But now we got the issue where the dog is lunging at the baby because the baby's already in the world. The first thing I would say, it's a husky. They're very high energy. A new baby in the world, the husky's probably not getting the same attention it was getting, which is again good and bad. Um, the one thing I would say is go back, no pun intended, go back to basics. Start getting your husky structured with the walk. Um, understand, let the husky understand that there is something called structure in this world and that you are in charge of that structure. Uh, by doing the structure of the walk, remember the walk that I set up, guys, that you can find on my YouTube channel, Back to Basics Dog Training. The playlist is How to Leash Train Your Dog in 5 Easy Steps. It's about structure and leadership. Um, and it's based everything on calm. So by setting up the structure of the walk and really mastering the walk the right way, uh, it teaches your dog you're in charge. And that way, when they do make the mistake and you say no inside the house, it means something. And I also tell people, walk the baby in the stroller. The dog stays behind the stroller, but you have to master the walk because you don't want a husky pulling you all over the place. If the stroller is in front of the dog walking, the perception from the dog's point of view is the baby's the pack leader. But everything has to be based on calm. Melanie, this is a subject that I would really suggest getting a trainer in to help you with. I can give you some advice here, but it's something you really need to focus on. I don't know where you're located. You could shoot me a private message, um, or reach out to me at this information here. Um, by all means, reach out to me. We'll guide you more. Um, Again, I'm not sure where you're located. Uh, if it's something we can't take care of via one-on-one with a Zoom training, or if you're too far away for me to do one-on-one personal training, I will try to recommend a trainer that can help you. Because we're talking about a child here, so we're going to take it um, a little careful. Um, Bonnie asks, need some good advice for dogs in this heat that will help outside bonding. It's rough. I mean, you just got to do things slowly in the heat. We still need to get them out. We still need to do things with them, but you need to do it in a calm way. We don't want these dogs getting overly excited and overheating. And you got to be careful of the breed of dogs, especially with this heat. The dogs with the pushed-in faces can't be out there as long. Dogs with folds, the bulldogs and things like that can't be out there as long because they overheat very easily. Keep water with you at all times, and I'm not talking about a bottle of water. I'm talking water, guys. Um, there's You can cool off your dog, let them drink as much as they need. Make sure it's not too fast because we don't want their bellies to bloat out on them. Uh, cool them off. I take water usually in my hand and I rub it on their mouth and their face because that's one of their cooling points. Um, Try to find shady areas as much as possible. Um, just use extra caution. And something that you may normally do for an hour with the meet and greet, that maybe do for 15, 20 minutes, depending on the temperature. And never, ever, guys, do this on blacktop or concrete. Grassy areas only, please. They will burn their paw pads. Uh, Patrice, who we talked to a couple of weeks ago, one, Michelle, you can hear me, nod your head. You can still hear me? Okay. Uh, Patrice says, keep up the good work, Michelle. That she had two dogs previously together. They fought at first. I thought it wouldn't work out. Once I became the pack leader, the fighting stopped and they became great friends. So, Michelle, I'm going to bring you back on camera because that's actually great advice because so many people give up on that process.
It's encouraging to hear that.
So you're not alone. And that's the reason why I bring this format. And I like this one-on-one type of training session because there's so many people out there with the same issues that you think you're by yourself, but you got really a whole support team of people out there. Just be careful when you post on Facebook questions because you know the answers you get. People always have opinions on things. Um, and like I said, I don't know if Melanie is still on here. I think it was Melanie that I was talking to earlier, but definitely reach out to me, Melanie. Um, so we had a great training session. Thank you, Michelle, for taking your time on this Saturday. I know you
Thank
probably
you.
have better
Thanks for
things
having
to
us.
do. But no, my pleasure. Better things to do on a Saturday than sit here and talk to me. But I hope you got some valuable information from this stuff to work on. Remember, it comes from you. Your energy is going to make or break it. Use Rob as the example. Again, Rob, don't get a swollen head on
Mhm.
me. Um, Use his energy as the example. It works. I've had multiple dogs at one point in my house in Mill Place. We had, I think, 12 dogs, and I didn't have the fights. Why? Because I controlled everything, and everything started It's zero calm. I don't allow the dogs to make any decisions, and you have a pack of dogs, don't let them make decisions. I don't even, I took it to the point where they're not allowed to make a decision when they're going to play with each other. Because again, I didn't let them play in the house, even though they wanted to. Um, but I allowed them to play outside. But when I brought dogs out, they had to go out calmly, threshold management, because if they started off calmly, it's easier for me to control. Good morning, Andrea. No worries about being late. You just have to watch the whole thing now on replay. Uh,
Playing is paramount.
I'm sorry. Did Rob have a question?
Well, he said about them playing in the house. We let them play in the house a lot to tire them out. It's hard to get the puppy tired. Besides the training, I know physically it's hard to tire them out.
Right.
We use a flirt pole outside. We have like a sock tied to a long pole, and they both seem to go for that. So that's something that tires them out. But the only reason we let them play in the house is to keep them a little bit tired.
Challenge their mind. They'll be more tired than physical. Remember, guys, physical tired is one type of tired. It's not a good tired.
Hmm.
Mental tired is better. That's why I really, really push hard on the structure of the walk or structure in general, because structure challenges their brain. The more you challenge their brains, the tireder they are. The tireder they are, they sleep better. And a tired sleeping dog is usually a good dog, unless they have the issue like you described. Again, if they're sleeping very close together and one of them gets startled, it may trigger something, but it's not an aggressive thing. It's more survival instinct. Um, Puzzle games are really good. Somebody asked, Patrice asked about puzzle games. I think puzzle games are really good. Problem is the ones that I've seen out there, dogs figure them out too fast and it stops being challenging. And then it's just a Pez dispenser of food, because that's usually what the puzzle games are. A couple things you could do to be interactive with them is something called like a shell game, which is exactly what it sounds like. Um, where you put a treat underneath a cup, you mix up the cups. They have to find it by sense of smell, but they can only get the treat when they're calm. So
Right.
different than we all done it with puppies, even though most people deny it. You put a treat in one hand and you give them both hands and you make them find it. Um, that's one way to do it. There's another game you can do, and it's hard with two dogs, but people with one dog can do it to challenge their brain on these hot days like Bonnie asked, or a rainy, crappy day, or up north, the snowy, crappy days, and you need to work with them. Is you take a treat, you have two cups, you put the treat, so, say you're on one end of the hallway, Michelle, Rob's on the other end with Bergen, he's holding Bergen, you put the treat on the one cup, you point to the cup, and you say, they see you put it, and you point. They go to that cup. You do that a bunch of times until they get used to it. Then what you do is you have Rob say turn a Bergen around so she can't see, put a treat and just point. Because that means she's following what you're saying. So she's thinking, there's two cups. Oh, mom's pointing here. You're challenging her brain. The more you challenge their brain, they become tired. Physical activity is no different than us, guys. I can do physical work, take a 15-minute power nap, and I'm ready to go. I do
Okay.
an hour's worth of paperwork. I'm done. My brain
Right.
hurts. So it's great you want to tire them out. That's why I know I'm a broken record, and I apologize to the world. Master the walk because it's
Right.
all about the structure. Um, so I'm going to let you go enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm going to wrap it up here. And again, Rob, thank you. I know you weren't on camera. Michelle, thank you.
Anytime.
Bergen and, well, let me rephrase that, Athena and Bergen, respect the elders. Thank you guys. We appreciate you. Keep mom
Thanks
and
for having us.
um, so thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll reach out, talk to you during the week. Keep me updated. And of course, you know me. I always tell people, guys, you're part of my pack. I think, Michelle, we proved that. Uh,
Yes.
Definitely reach out to me. I'll help you out as best I can. But I'm going to let you go. I'm going to wrap this up here. Everybody's saying thank you, just so you know, because I don't know if you see the comments.
No, no.
Yeah, I don't think so. But Patricia says thank you. Bonnie said thank you. Everybody's saying thank you, which is really, really
Thank
great.
you. Well, and thank you, Leon. Without you, we would have had to return Athena to the shelter like 3 years ago. She was a nightmare. Took her about a year and a half to acclimate. And I don't even post the pictures on Facebook with her with the e-collar on because I know everyone's against it, but we don't even
So,
use it anymore. We keep it on her sometimes because she behaves better with it on, but we haven't had to use it. But without, people will say, oh, those are aversive, corrections. We don't like that. But without the e-collar training, we wouldn't have been able to keep her. She would have been back at the shelter, probably considered unadoptable because
mhm.
she was ferocious. So,
And
so you helped us keep our dog.
personally, I would also start it with Bergen. She's 6 months old now. Start training your recall with her. Low level. You know how to figure out the low level. Start bulletproofing her at an earlier age so you can get to that point quicker.
Right.
I would definitely start incorporating that, and we could talk about that at a later date. But I would start incorporating and working predominantly her recall at this point.
Mhm.
That's one of the
Right.
issues you texted me about, which isn't good, but she's a puppy and is not going to be good. But recall is the number one reason I like the e-collar because then I can have my
Mhm.
dog at a football field and just touch a button at a low level stim that I don't even feel, and they know, oh, that means come back. So
Right.
there's nothing wrong with it. I would actually I would actually consider um, definitely start using it on her too.
Right. Well, we have the long line thing too to try with her
Well,
as well.
start 6 foot, 10, 12 foot,
It's like
25 foot.
30 foot, I think,
Yeah.
isn't it?
No,
It's
30.
it's like 30 foot.
Yeah, start the 6 foot recall at 6 foot. She's 6 foot
Okay.
away, Bergen come. Then maybe put two leashes together because together to come back from 35 feet, 30 feet right now. Good luck. Start
Everything.
small.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry, I couldn't hear Rob.
He said we have everything. We
I
have
can shorten it
he
to
got
anything.
he got a lot of ropes
Yeah,
we purchased for this purpose.
right. Start at smaller intervals. Praise, 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 treat, reward, whatever. Praise, praise, praise. Um, definitely then go to a longer. You can't expect to start from 100 feet away and a dog to come.
Yeah.
Start from 6 foot
Okay.
away and bulletproof it. You do it 100 times. I don't care. I've made this very clear, and I know you probably heard me say it. When I first got Zoe, for the first 6 months, besides mastering the walk, all I focused on was recall. I didn't worry about the sit, the lay down, give me a paw roll over, play dead. I worried about mastering the walk and recall because those are the two most important things in a puppy's world. And now Zoe's recall is bulletproof. I mean, she could be a football field away from me if I call her she's coming, even with distractions of critters. So work the recall. Work that should be something when anybody who's watching gets a puppy. Um, that is something you guys should work on 3, 4, 5 times a day if you have the time, because that
Mhm.
recall saves their lives. So guys, just work on it. Sorry, I can keep going all day, and I don't want to tie everybody's time up here. So Michelle, Rob, thank you again. I appreciate it. I'm going to wrap up this thing for the weekend. And anybody who's watching, Michelle, thank you. I'm going to take you off camera now.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Leon.
Thanks, Rob. Okay, so guys, anybody who's watching who wants to participate in this style or knows a family, friend, or a relative or somebody around the country, around the world, it doesn't matter to me, have them reach out to me at the information over here at Leon at back to base info at backtobasicsdogtraining.com. Or text me at 631-514-9128. I am so excited to bring this platform to you because, like I said, Patrice actually gave Michelle confidence because she lived it. She followed it. She became the pack leader, and the dogs got it, and they became BFFs. So it helped live that dream of mine. Together, we can help one dog and one family at a time, just with that one little comment. So we know we're not alone, and we're all in this journey together. Um, Andrea, I know you sent me a text last night and a message. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. I will get back to you today. I promise you. Uh, um, and I forgot what I was saying. Joan, thank you for joining us again this week. Joan, you've been a great help for my ego here. Donna, Rich, as always, you guys are great for me. But again, if anybody's interested in doing this new format, and by the way, guys, one thing I am going to start doing probably after in the month of August, I'm going to probably be bringing this platform to you 2 times. Once a Tuesday night at about 8 or 9 o'clock. I haven't figured it out yet because I want to hit some of the folks on the West Coast when they're home, and I'm going to continue my Saturday mornings at 11. So it's going to be Tuesday nights. I just got to finalize the timing on it, what time of the night, and of course our Saturday morning. So I'm excited about that as well. So again, guys, thank you for inviting me into your homes each and every weekend. I hope everybody has a happy and healthy and safe 4th of July weekend. Remember, close your windows, lock your gates, protect your puppies on this 4th of July weekend. Thank you for inviting me into your home. And as always, stay healthy, stay safe. God bless. And together we can help one dog and one family at a time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys.